Heightened tensions, President Trump and the new sanctions against Iran tonight. This time on Iran's supreme leader, and Iran signaling it is ready to strike again after downing that U.S. drone. Also at this hour, new alerts tonight from Tennessee up the East Coast. And now we learn it was an EF2 tornado, winds reaching 125 miles per hour. The breaking headline at this hour, the horrific accident, the pictures coming in right now. The tourist bus flipping in the Bahamas, passengers from a cruise ship from Florida. The American C-130 flying the seriously injured back to the U.S. Reports of more than 30 hurt. New images late today from Chicago police. Actor Jussie Smollett, they say with that noose around his neck, asking police to shut off their cameras. Why they're releasing it now. That deadly skydiving crash, 11 people on board killed, and what we've now learned tonight. The missing college student, last seen taking a Lyft ride. What police say that Lyft driver has now revealed to them. Multiple sightings today alone, several great white sharks off the East Coast where they were spotted, and the warning tonight. And the major headline tonight involving coffee and your weight.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to start another week with all of you at home. We have several major headlines as we come on tonight, and we begin with President Trump taking new action against Iran after calling off that U.S. military strike on Iran with minutes to spare, meant to be retaliation for Iran's downing of that American drone. Well, tonight the president has signed an executive order imposing yet another layer of tough sanctions on Iran, this time targeting Iran's supreme leader, among others. And tonight, Iran has now signaled it is prepared to strike again. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off.
The president today announced new economic sanctions on Iran, directly targeting Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, upping the pressure while saying he wants diplomatic talks.
I look forward to discussing whatever I have to discuss with anybody that wants to speak. In the meantime, who knows what's going to happen? I can only tell you we cannot ever let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and it won't happen.
A short while later, Iran's ambassador to the UN flatly rejected the idea of talks while the U.S. imposes more sanctions.
You cannot start a dialogue with somebody who is threatening you, who is intimidating you.
President Trump, who has said the U.S. could obliterate Iran, insists he has shown restraint by calling off a planned military strike to retaliate for Iran shooting down a U.S. drone.
I think a lot of restraint has been shown by us, a lot of restraint, and that doesn't mean we're going to show it in the future.
Now, 1 year after he tore up the Iran nuclear deal, the president is telling the Ayatollah he wants to negotiate a new one.
He has the potential to have a great country, and quickly, very quickly. And I think they should do that rather than going along this very destructive path.
And John Karl with us live tonight from the White House. And John, Iran tonight making it very clear that they're ready to shoot down another American drone if provoked.
They're saying they will do it again. Iran has made it clear that if a U.S. aircraft enters its airspace, they are fully capable of shooting it down. As one top Iranian military official told an Iranian news agency earlier today, quote, "The crushing response can always be repeated, and the enemy knows it." David?
John Karl leading us off on a Monday night. John, thank you. Now to the severe storm threat as we're on the air. New watches at this hour, heavy rain, damaging winds, and possible tornadoes from Tennessee up the East Coast right into Pennsylvania. And tonight we've learned that was a EF2 tornado in South Bend, Indiana, winds up to 125 miles per hour. A flash flood emergency in the Midwest, homes underwater. This is Anderson, Missouri you're looking at. We have the track of the storms tonight, and here's ABC's Steve Osunsami now.
42 million Americans are in the path of severe storms tonight. And this evening, the National Weather Service says this one in Indiana was a tornado with wind speeds of up to 125 miles an hour, an EF2.
You can see that this building's roof completely ripped off.
The Growing Kids Learning Center in South Bend took a big hit. Fortunately, no children were inside. In Houston this morning, the rains nearly cost this man his life. Highway traffic cameras were recording as first responders rescued him from rising waters.
Ultimately, the most important thing is his life. So we was able to get him out of the water.
Authorities say that heavy rains are blamed for the death of a woman in Oklahoma who died after her car was swept into a creek. Floods over the weekend rolled through Missouri. 2 kids in the town of Monette had to be rescued when they fell into fast-moving water. Lightning from the same system destroyed a home in Spring, Texas, and a lightning strike sent them running at this outdoor concert in Kansas. At the airports, more than 400 flights have been canceled across the country, mostly due to weather, and more than 4,000 flights have been delayed. Those numbers are expected to go up, David, as we get through the night.
All right, that's for sure, Steve. Thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee tonight, tracking it all. Ginger?
David, the radar is lit up tonight and the atmosphere is charged, especially for places like Pittsburgh. Within minutes, about to see a severe thunderstorm, down to Atlanta, where severe thunderstorm warnings are popping just west of them. Greenville to Lynchburg, Virginia. You're going to want to watch tonight for damaging winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. It's all along that cold front that eventually brings northern New Jersey right through central New York right tomorrow morning during the commute. That's going to be a problem with strong storms, some heavy rains, and then the upper peninsula of Michigan down through Milwaukee, eventually Kansas City, seeing more damaging winds, tornadoes, and hail tomorrow, David.
All right, a tough 24 hours ahead, Ginger. Thank you. Also developing as we're on tonight, the major bus accident involving tourists in the Bahamas. These were passengers from a cruise ship that sailed from Florida. The images coming in now, more than 30 people injured when their bus crashed, several victims airlifted aboard an American C-130 at this hour back to the U.S. for treatment. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo.
Tonight, the race to treat American victims of a bus crash in the Bahamas. 32 passengers from the Carnival Ecstasy cruise ship were on a tour bus on the island of Eleuthera when it flipped over. At least 26 were injured. At least 4 of the passengers airlifted to Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport in this military C-130 transport plane because their injuries were too serious to treat in the Bahamas, several reportedly in critical condition. The Carnival Ecstasy on a 5-day Bahamas cruise that departed Jacksonville 2 days ago.
Airport officials tell us 3 out of the 4 Americans who were airlifted here to South Florida suffered broken bones, internal injuries to possible paralysis. No word on the cause of the crash, but Carnival says they've suspended several of those tours tonight. David?
All right, we'll continue to follow this into the evening. Victor, thank you. Now to new developments tonight in the Jussie Smollett case. New images late today released from Chicago police, including, they say, the actor with a noose around his neck. Why authorities are releasing these images now, and here's ABC's Alex Perez tonight with the pictures.
Any weapons or anything inside the apartment?
Tonight, our first look at Jussie Smollett the night he claimed he was assaulted. Police body cam video capturing Smollett still wearing the noose he says his attackers put around his neck.
Do you want to take it off or anything?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted to see. There's a bleach on me. They put bleach on it.
The video, part of 69 hours of surveillance and other images made public by the Chicago Police Department today, authorities blurring faces. The alleged attackers seen in this video, but the supposed incident itself not captured on tape. For weeks, authorities investigated the claims.
Today, we have no reason to think he's not being genuine with us.
But later determined Smollett fabricated the attack. Investigators saying the alleged attackers were these 2 brothers, extras on his show Empire, who police say Smollett hired to carry out the assault. Surveillance showing the brothers buying masks and hats. And this new video shows them being arrested as they arrived at O'Hare back in February. Smollett was indicted, but those charges, in a controversial decision, later dropped by the prosecutor.
And ABC's Alex Perez joins us live from Chicago tonight. Alex, this body cam video released by Chicago police just hours ago comes days after a judge there appointed a special prosecutor to investigate why Smollett's charges were dropped.
Yeah, David, the judge has asked that special prosecutor to review the handling of the case, which means Smollett could possibly once again face charges. Federal investigators are also looking into whether Smollett mailed a threatening letter to himself. So, David, this is all far from over.
Alex Perez live tonight. Alex, thank you. Now to disturbing images this evening. A Metro Transit police officer under investigation in Washington, D.C. The officer seen shoving and then using a stun gun on a man who was questioning police after officers had detained several juveniles. Witnesses from the train platform were horrified by the scene. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis tonight.
Hold on, he's all right. Tonight, anger and frustration reaching a boiling point over this video. This was the scene at a D.C. train station Saturday. A man approaches police officers intervening as they questioned several black juveniles who were suspected of threatening riders. Bystanders on the platform recording it all on video, horrified as an officer shoves the man, then uses his stun gun. That is not
unnecessary. He's not even resisting. He's not even resisting. He's not even resisting.
According to an officer's statement, the man said, "Go ahead, tase me," and took a combative stance by clenching his fists. What we see in the video is the man approaching with his palms out.
If you're having a hand out, palm out, that doesn't say aggression. That says stop. That says pause. That says wait. Stop, babe!
The Metro Transit Police Department says it's opened an internal investigation into the use of force, saying we are committed to fostering the public's trust in us. That man is not expected to be charged. And David, we've also heard from the mother of one of those juveniles. She's calling him a hero tonight, saying that things likely would have been much worse had he not intervened. David?
Lindsay, thank you. There is news tonight after that deadly skydiving plane crash in Hawaii and the 11 people who were killed on board. Some family members witnessing the horrifying moment. Video now emerging of the plane nearly crashing 3 years ago and the skydivers right there scrambling to escape in midair. The images raising questions tonight about the plane's safety record. ABC's Will Carr is in Oahu.
Tonight, with victims' family members watching from the ground in horror, witnesses say just before that skydiving plane crashed, they saw the twin engine packed with 11 people flip sideways and then nosedive into the ground. Steve Tickmeyer raced to the scene.
We saw a big explosion and then just covered in black smoke.
You can see there's not much left of the plane. The ground and the fins are charred, and you really get the sense of just how hot it was burning right after the crash. This video shows the same plane in 2016. The pilot on that flight lost control. The plane then spiraled into a dangerous spin. Before the pilot could recover, pieces of the plane flew off in midair.
I saw something fall down from the plane, like a sheet or something. I don't know what it was.
We'll want to look at the quality of the repairs that were made on that aircraft and whether it was inspected by FAA and the quality of those inspections.
The victims include a young couple celebrating their first wedding anniversary, a Navy sailor stationed in Hawaii, a 23-year-old skydiving student, and 6 employees from the Oahu Parachute Center, including Daniel Herndon, who survived a harrowing jump 3 years ago when his main parachute didn't open. And yet he kept skydiving. We're told the entire crew had a real passion for adventure. Federal investigators are still here on the scene trying to figure out the cause of the crash. They tell us they're looking into that plane's history and how much weight was on board. David.
Will Carr tonight. Will, thank you. Now to growing concerns over reports of hundreds of children living in deplorable conditions at government migrant centers. The Trump administration reportedly moving hundreds of children from this Texas Border Patrol station. The Trump administration has not weighed in on this. The headline comes after President Trump abruptly delayed this weekend those sweeping ICE raids. So why did he halt the raids? The president had been on the phone with Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and what she said today. Mary Bruce on the Hill.
Tonight, the government is reportedly moving hundreds of migrant children out of this Texas holding facility after growing outrage over conditions that are being described as dire.
They are dirty, they are hungry, they are sleeping on concrete floors.
Attorney Warren Binford tells ABC News she met with young children at that Clint, Texas facility who were left to care for each other, soiled and dirty, without enough food or water.
Many of the children were sick, especially the young children.
In a statement, Customs and Border Protection tells us they have limited resources, but are working to provide the best care possible for those in our custody, especially children. When pressed about these conditions, the president blamed the Democrats.
We're doing a fantastic job under the circumstances. The Democrats aren't even approving giving us money. Where is the money?
Trump is trying to up the pressure on Capitol Hill, giving lawmakers just 2 weeks to act on immigration, or else he says he will go ahead with sweeping raids of families who are in the U.S. illegally. A mass roundup was planned for this weekend, but then the president spoke with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. In a 12-minute phone call, she told him the raids would inject terror into our communities.
So when I spoke to the president, I said, look, I'm a mom. I have 5 kids, 9 grandchildren, and your children are scared. You're scaring the children of America.
And Mary Bruce is back on the Hill for us again tonight. And Mary, we just heard Speaker Pelosi there. The president is blaming Democrats for blocking him on immigration, but the Democrats, including Speaker Pelosi, say they have a plan.
Yeah, David, Democrats with Republicans are now trying to hammer out a plan that would provide $4.5 billion in humanitarian aid. But the president is also demanding changes to the asylum laws in the next 2 weeks. Speaker Pelosi tonight, though, is making it pretty clear that is not going to happen. David.
Mary Bruce starting another week on the Hill. Mary, thank you. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Monday. The missing college student last seen taking a Lyft ride. Well, police say that Lyft driver has now revealed to them. Also tonight, that deadly collision, the truck killing 7 military veterans on a motorcycle ride to a fun